Hello, good morning. Welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash, and I'm joined by my good buddy, Doug, and we are here to talk the divisional round of the 2025 NFL playoffs. Doug, how are you doing on this Saturday morning?
I am doing amazing. I'm excited for today.
Yeah, me too. I mean, neither one of our teams made it, unfortunately, but, it goes on. The playoffs go on,
Yeah.
so we're going to break down everything. If you're new to the channel, if you would give us a like, hit the thumbs up button, and then hit subscribe. After you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when our newest podcast has gone live. If you're new to DFS Coach Talk, we would love to have you join us. We have a very family-friendly and positive and encouraging community in our Discord. So you can hit us up on X at DFS Coach Talk, or you can email me, jpdavis1982@gmail.com, and we will get you in our Discord. If you are new and you've never seen our show before, or you're not currently a member in our Discord, I will be giving out a free week's membership today. So definitely hit me up, send me a DM on X at DFS Coach Talk, and we'll get you in for the next week. So we're going to be covering all the major sports. Right now we're just doing NFL and NBA and PGA. Actually, Doug's doing that now. We picked that up a couple weeks ago, so we'll be doing that too. But we'll also be covering Major League Baseball when it starts, and the whole cycle throughout the season of the major sports. So besides hockey, we don't currently have anybody for hockey. Maybe someday, but that's what we do. What, Doug? You know hockey?
I know hockey. I watch hockey, and my DFS hockey is horrible.
Oh, really? Okay. Well,
Yep.
maybe we'll give it a shot during the NBA All-Star break or something, because there's like no sports going on during that time. So anyway, with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump right into it. Starting out with the first game this afternoon, the Houston Texans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, a rematch from Week 16. Looks like Joe Mixon is questionable. Have you heard any more? Is he going to play? I would think he would play with it being the playoffs, but
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay, all right, that's what I figured.
Woods,
I don't think he's going to play, is he?
Who?
Robert Woods.
Who cares? Next.
That's kind of how I feel. Okay, so the Chiefs are 8.5-point favorite at home, minus 520 on the money line with the over-under 41.5. 22 degrees with the wind blowing at 14 miles an hour. It's crazy. I think the wind chill, it's going to be like negative 12. So that's a pretty serious wind if it's 23 degrees with that kind of wind chill.
Yeah,
for sure. You know all about that being in Wisconsin. I've experienced
it
too. It's not fun at all.
I can go outside right now.
Is it about like that right now?
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh man, yeah. You got to stay inside today for sure. Then we have the 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern game with the Washington Commanders taking on the Detroit Lions. The Lions are a 9.5-point favorite at home, minus 550 on the money line. 55.5 over under. I honestly think it could be higher than that, but that's what it landed at, was 55.5. Then we move to tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, the Los Angeles Rams in Philadelphia, rematch from Week 12. Philadelphia is a 6-point favorite at home, minus 280 on the money line. 43.5 over under only, largely because of the weather, I think. 78% chance of snow, 34 degrees with the wind blowing 9 miles an hour. So it's going to be another cold weather game with snow, probably a pretty good amount of snow on top of that. And we have the same thing in the next game at night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, the Baltimore Ravens in Buffalo taking on the Bills. Ravens are a 1-point favorite on the road, minus 120 on the money line with an over-under of 51.5. 52% chance of snow, 18-mile-an-hour winds blowing to the north-northeast, and at 4 miles an hour only, so not too bad there. And then Zay Flowers is listed as doubtful, so I don't think he's going to play. So we'll probably be going back to Rashad Bateman, I'm guessing. Let me check the chat here. Hey, Derek, what's going on? Dead Presidents, what's up? I don't see anybody else. Hope everybody's doing well on this Saturday. Let me find my top plays here. So quarterback, Once again, I like Jaden Daniels. He's 7,000 on DraftKings, 8,500 on Fanduel, $38 on Yahoo. Going up against Detroit, they've been a little bit below average against quarterbacks, about 11th in fantasy points allowed to them. Jaden Daniels has averaged 29.8 DraftKings points in his last 6 games. I didn't include the game with the Cowboys because he basically didn't play that much. So that's just that's where he's played most of the game. Value, how often have I ever said this? Patrick Mahomes, 6,000 on DraftKings, 7,700 on FanDuel, $33 on Yahoo. He's the 6th most expensive quarterback on DraftKings and FanDuel, the 5th most expensive on Yahoo. Going up against Houston, he had 260 yards passing, a passing touchdown, and a rushing touchdown in Week 16 for 23.7 DraftKings points. I think he can put up similar numbers to that, if not higher today. He's just that guy when it comes to the playoffs. So I think that's a really good value. Were you surprised at all with the price on Mahomes this week?
No. I wasn't.
I say that, but I'm still a little bit surprised. I know he hasn't had the best year, but it's Mahomes in the playoffs, man. Like, you can't bet against him.
Well, I'm not saying I agree with the pricing. I'm just saying I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah.
What I'm surprised about is if you look at Yahoo, you've got Matthew Stafford at 24 and CJ Stroud at $22. I don't get the pricing there. Whether or no weather, I mean, that's pretty low pricing for a quarterback. But continue.
I'm actually responding to Derek's message about the flu. I had that a couple weeks ago. So.
Oh, you and I both did. Mine got me in a hospital, Derek. So.
Yeah, it sucks.
That and 2 blood infections.
This time of year, it's tough.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so who do you like this week at quarterback, Doug?
Well, I mean, Daniels could be chalk. I'm weird. Mahomes is great value. He's second most of my value. And then the other guy I'm really looking at Josh Allen.
Yeah, I can see that. My only concern with him is the weather, but I mean
that's what I like about it.
Really? Okay.
Because he'll run.
Slip.
I think he's going to run more. And where did he grow up?
Yeah, grew up in Wyoming.
He knows the cold weather. He's thrown into cold weather. I think Shakir, he's great at breaking tackles, Josh. I think the short passes are going to be money. He's going to have the short passes to the tight ends. Should we get Shakir? And then he'll run the ball. I mean, there's going to be a lot of run option. I also think Lamar Jackson's also going to be doing the same. It's just a matter which one of the two is going to be more effective. I think that it's going to be one of the greatest games we've ever seen in our lives to make it to the championship, not even the Super Bowl. This may be the Super Bowl.
Yeah, could be. I still say don't count the Chiefs, but
yeah, and I think there's gonna be a lot of 6 offensive linemen or double tight ends in this game for both teams. Both teams are gonna do it, and both teams ran it in the top 5 most all year long. But it could mean more running for Jackson or Allen.
So if you were to rank them, would you say Allen, Daniels, Mahomes, or how would you rank them this weekend?
God, this is extreme. I'm going to calculate that for you, Josh. I have that answer. Just got to pull it up here. Sorry, guys. Wow, that is close. Yeah, it depends on what site also.
Okay. Just let's just say just by your gut, who would you like the most?
I want Allen first.
Okay. That's what I figured.
Yeah, I think he'll score the most.
He's not going to be chalky like Daniels, so I like that too.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm going with Goff.
Yeah.
I think Goff has such a wonderful floor. I also think Mahomes is such a wonderful floor. But Goff's gonna, I mean, look at the points that's gonna be scored in that game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of points.
Yeah, you've got Daniels.
Pretty good, a lot better pass defense rating at least than I thought they had. I was thinking they're pretty bad, but they're third best in passing yards allowed. So
true, but it's
Detroit's passing game is all based on quick routes, so there's not gonna be a lot of down the field passing, I don't think.
No, and Goff is accurate, and it's be throwing passing to the running backs. That doesn't usually show on pass defense.
Yeah,
you look at Pro Football Focus, sites like that. They don't account for that. They don't.
Yeah, they don't. You're right. Well, let's move on to running back. Obviously, the top running back is going to be Saquon. He's 8,200 on DraftKings, 9,300 on Fanduel, $40 on Yahoo. Had an unbelievable game against the Rams in Week 12. 255 yards rushing on 26 attempts. 2 rushing touchdowns for 49.2 DraftKings points. It's going to be a snow game. I figured he's going to be heavily involved on the ground and in the short passing game as well. And I'm just going to pay up for him in every lineup. I'm not going to even mess around there. Value, for some reason, FanDuel just did something ridiculous. And Montgomery at $4,000. I mean, that's a lock. Go ahead and chalk that in. He's 5,700 on DraftKings, $27 on Yahoo, so he's more appropriately priced on those sites. But he's always going to be a threat around the goal line. Dan Campbell loves to use him in the goal line situation, so I definitely like Montgomery as a cheap play. He's really cheap on all 3 sites, honestly, but on FanDuel, it's just ridiculous. So I also like, as a sleeper, a little bit in a GPP. Kareem Hunt's really been more of the go-to back, especially in the goal line for Kansas City. Pacheco hasn't. I mean, maybe they'll get him more involved, with a couple weeks break, but I just think that for their price, Hunt just seems to be their option they go to in the goal line situation. So I'm going to go with Hunt in GPPs. You can also look at Eckler. I think he's a decent option because they'll throw it to you. DraftKings especially. And then not quite as high on Derrick Henry this week, but I still like him. But I'm just going to pay up for Saquon and pay up at quarterback and running back with Barkley. So,
yeah. And what do you think about Gibbs?
I like Gibbs. I don't like him as much as Saquon, but he's probably number 2 running back for me, or maybe 3 behind Henry. I like Gibbs. I do. But with Montgomery back, it's not quite as much of a workload that he's going to get. So
the big thing like FanDuel, they priced it up like Montgomery wasn't going to play, and Gibbs is going to be the 3 down back, and so you're paying 3 down back price on Gibbs.
Right.
Difficult to pay for that. And then the other guys I'm looking at, James Cook, again, running the ball a lot. There's going to be a lot of running in that game. But
I just don't know about running on the Ravens, though. Their defense has been markedly better since they put Kyle Hamilton up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, they actually they moved him back, Josh.
Moved him back. That's what I ment. Yeah, moved him away from
and their running game is elite. I agree. And if Eckler, you nailed. I also mentioned him. The nugget I'm going to throw out there, not so much on FanDuel, and that is Ty Johnson.
Yeah. Yep, I can definitely see that.
I like him in GPP only. Really like that play a lot.
He's going to get a touchdown for you, though. But yeah.
Well, yeah, but he's getting almost 30% of the carries at running back right now.
True.
He's been increasing all year long, so it's kind of exciting.
Yeah, and if they're shutting down Cook, then I could see Ty slipping out of the backfield for sure.
Yeah, so that's my only other sneaky play. If he did him on FanDuel and Montgomery doesn't hit the end zone,
Mm-hmm.
and he does, he can really do well. Or one of the Chiefs running backs. Don't forget that too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just hard to know which one to use. I just don't know what's going on with Pacheco. Like if they're
I lean towards Hunt as well.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to wide receiver. Terry McLaurin, 6,300 on DraftKings, 7,600 on FanDuel, $32 on Yahoo. Detroit has allowed the third most fantasy points to wide receivers this year. McLaurin's got double-digit targets the last two games. In the game against Tampa in the wild card round, he had 7 catches on 10 targets for 89 yards and a touchdown for 21.9 DraftKings points. For value, you can also look at Olamide Zaccheaus, his teammate on the other side. If the Lions decide to, send extra help on McLaurin, he could definitely have a big game. And then I actually have their other wide receiver, De'Ami Brown, is another sleeper. He had 5 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown for a season high 19.9 DraftKings points against Tampa. So I could see this game, being a heavy pass game. I think all 3 wide receivers could be in play. I could see a scenario where that happens, but definitely like McLaurin and Zaccheaus the most. I like Bateman if Flowers is out, which it looks like he's going to be. I don't really like any of the other receivers from the other games. Maybe Xavier Worthy, maybe Nico Collins. I'm not sure. Kansas City has a pretty good defense, and the weather's going to be rough. So, but I do think that Worthy can get out of the backfield. They'll run some jet sweeps with him. So I think he's a decent play, even with the weather.
Nailed it. I'm a hard fade on Bateman. He's not a number 1 receiver, and he'll be getting number 1 receiver
attention.
Defense. Yep.
Yeah.
Bateman it's gonna be rough. The only thing he might do is fall in for a touchdown, and he might as well just go and get Mac Hollins for that. But I'm not being a little exaggerating slightly. I don't know about the almost a Redskins name, but the Commanders. Yeah. I don't like choosing between Brown and Zaccheaus. It's tough.
It is.
So to me, receiver is a major pay down except for Puka.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I just don't know what the weather's going to be like in Philly, so I'm a little concerned.
Yeah,
plus they have a really, really good secondary. So
they sure do. Yeah, but that would be my one pay up I'd look at. Doing the other one would be, Monte Brown maybe, but to me that's paid a lot for a guy just getting in.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah. On FanDuel, I like Jameson Williams.
Okay.
But you covered out the other guys I mentioned, and possibly it depends on the weather again, but the Eagles receivers could sneak in there.
Yeah.
And because the defense that's thrown against the Eagles receivers by the Rams is 1-1, and Brown against 1-1 is a piece, AJ Brown. Yeah. But again, that still does worry me, and so Puka feels all good.
They didn't even throw the ball that much against us, like against the Packers last week. So I don't know how much they're going to throw it in the weather.
Exactly. And then Brown had 103 yards receiving and a touchdown last time they played. Brown, and he wasn't at. Yeah, AJ Brown, he wasn't even 100%. So
yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, I just think that with the weather and everything, it's just going to be a heavy Saquon game. Jalen Hurts could be, an option too, running the football. But I don't like him enough as a passer to use him at quarterback. But that's for props and stuff like that. You can definitely look at Hurts rushing yards, I think.
Oh, I agree.
All right. So tight end, Travis Kelce, you just have to trust him in the playoffs. I mean, this is his time to shine.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't do good in the playoffs, then he's officially going to be on the retirement side of things, I think. So then after him, though, I think you can pay way down. Looks like Tyler Higbee's going to be good to go, so I could see him in a short passing game in that weather. Dalton Schultz had a nice game last couple weeks, and the Chiefs have allowed some of the most fantasy points to tight end, so I like that. You could look at Isaiah Likely as another value. Mark Andrews is in play, obviously. He's been heavily targeted, especially with Flowers out. But, yeah, there's a lot of options at tight end, honestly, for, 4 games. Quite a few options, good options. So
I agree. I just let me look at my spreadsheet I got here. I'd type that again. I put that up at a different. All right. Here's my order of tight ends. I'll give them all out that I'm playing today. Okay. I got in this order: Laporta, Andrews, Likely, Goddard, Kelsey, and Fanduel pricing.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so many points scored. I think Laporta is gonna get targeted so much, and Ertz can get targeted a lot as well.
Yeah, Ertz will probably get targeted a lot too. You're right. Yeah.
I don't know how well he'll do because he's going up against number 1 defense against tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he's a hard fade on my end.
Yeah,
and
they
then
are number 1 defense against tight ends. That's true.
Yeah,
and Philadelphia's like number 2, but I just think Higbee. I mean, the way they used Higbee in the beginning of the game against you guys on Monday. He got like 6 targets, I think, in the first quarter.
Yeah, they did really well in the first half against Minnesota offensively.
Yeah,
they got shut down in the second half. No one ever mentions that,
right?
But they did. How many points did they score in the second half?
6.
Yeah, they didn't score many. And all the Viking, yeah. And this is something interesting. We'll get into this game real quick. All the Vikings' weaknesses were the Rams' strengths.
Yeah, true.
That's why I picked the Rams beat the Vikings.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, especially without Darisaw, that was a tough loss for the Vikings for sure.
Oh yeah, it was a great season for my Vikings. Honestly, I didn't expect them to make the playoffs. More or less.
I mean, most people had them predicted to finish last in the division, so it was a very surprising good season.
Yeah. I did have them ahead of the Bears, but that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I did too, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, so defense, Kansas City and Philadelphia for me are the top 2 defenses this weekend. Value defense, you could look at the Ravens. For some reason, they're priced like a value defense this weekend. I know it's a matchup, but they've been playing at a high level on defense, like we said, with Kyle Hamilton moving back. So those are the defenses I'm looking at. I think Detroit and Washington's going to be a shootout. And, that's where I'm going. So any other defenses that you like or just those 3?
I like the Texans price on FanDuel.
Okay.
Just the price.
FanDuel, just on FanDuel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
they had a couple of really good games. I mean, they lit up the Chargers for sure.
Well, it doesn't take much. They could get a few sacks on that. And
they're the team with the most sacks this year, Houston is.
And you got the bad weather.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let me check the chat. I don't see anything new, so.
But no, you hit on the Ravens prices low, and then like FanDuel was. Look here.
Yeah, it's below 1,000 on DraftKings.
But we look at the Chiefs on FanDuel. You got 4,500 for the Chiefs defense. Really? Yeah. They should be 5,000 today, but it's okay.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
I think Stroud will throw like 2 or 3 picks, honestly.
Yeah, you're right.
Predictions. So my lock of the week is Kansas City. My upset is Washington at 9.5. That's just way too many points in my opinion. I think that's going to be a 38-33 or something around there type game. I think it's going to be a lot of points in that game. My bold prediction, though, is that the Eagles win by double digits and the Rams don't score a touchdown. So,
wow.
I know I went actually pretty bold this weekend, but
wow,
I wanted to do what I think definitely could happen. The Eagles defense is just really tough. And if the Rams, to me, if they can't throw the ball because of the weather mainly and their good defense the Eagles have, the run defense is just as good. So, I just don't know how the Rams are going to score touchdowns. But, I mean, they could surprise me, but we'll see.
They'll run the ball.
You think they'll run it?
Yeah.
It's a tough front, man, with Carter and Davis. I mean, they're tough.
Yeah.
But, you could be right. You could be right. But what I don't see happening is what happened with Darnold, and I don't see them getting after Jalen Hurts like that because, one, he can beat you with the run, and two, that offensive line is just ridiculous. So
yeah, you're absolutely right at all that. I just think Kyrie Williams might flop down for a touchdown.
Yeah. So you think they'll be able to
score a touchdown? Yes.
Score a touchdown. But do you think they'll be able to beat the Eagles, or do you think that the Eagles win?
Oh, absolutely will lose to the Eagles. I think they'll. How about the
Eagles?
Eagles?
It's a terrible matchup for them,
Yeah, exactly. What are the Eagles favored by?
6.
I'll take the Eagles to easily cover that.
Okay.
We're talking 10 points. I'll cover over by. I'll say over 10.
You're going by double digits.
Eagles.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah, over 10 for the Eagles. I think my upset would be Baltimore squeaking by Buffalo.
Okay.
Wait, no, is Baltimore
They're actually favored, aren't they? Yeah.
Then I'll take the Bills on that one then. Okay. Yeah, it'll win by 1 point.
Yeah, they're 1 point underdog.
Yeah. Oh wait, what I say? I'm sorry. Buffalo will win the game.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say on that. But that's not a bold prediction. I think the Washington-Detroit game will go over your 55.5.
Yeah.
I think we're looking at over 60. But I also think Detroit will win by double digits.
Wow. So you taking them as your lock?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Because you took KC, any team that's on rest, their offensive line is going to fire so much harder. The defensive line fires so much harder. And these games are won at the line of scrimmage. And that's why I like Detroit, KC easily to cover.
Yeah, I agree. So what's your bold prediction this week?
But Josh Allen will be the leading rusher for Buffalo.
Okay. I like it. All right, so that will take us to our Prizepicks plays of the week. If you're new to Prizepicks, you can join. Use promo code Coach Talk, all one word, and they will 100% match your deposit up to $100. So my top plays on Prizepicks this week, I'm going to go with Travis Kelce on a Goblin play at more than 39.5 receiving yards. I think you could probably go over that in the first, if not the first quarter, the first half. They also have a Demon play, which has a higher payout for those who aren't familiar with that. They have a more than 0.5 receiving and rushing touchdowns. I don't think he's had a touchdown in like 4 of the last 5 games. He's definitely due. It's the playoffs. I'll take him to get in the end zone. Jaden Daniels more than 199.5 passing yards. I'll take the Goblin play on that. I'll take Saquon more than 111.5 rushing yards. And I'll take Derrick Henry's Goblin at more than 89.5 rushing yards. And I have a whole bunch more plays for our members in our Discord. So like I said before, if you're new, we would definitely love to have you join us, and we will give you a free week's membership this week, no matter what. So hit us up on X at DFS Coach Talk, and we'll get you in our Discord. So with that being said, let's go for our 2 brains are better than one Fanduel GPP lineup for the Saturday through Sunday. So all 4 games we're going to be covering.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you have the first pick, Doug.
Oh, I did last week, actually.
Did you last week? Okay.
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. So
and I'm going to load up on that second game today.
You're going to what?
Load up on that second game.
Oh, load up on the second game. Yeah, I was thinking we might cover that as a bonus game, just because it'll be a lot of fun from a fantasy standpoint. So
sure will. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow, I am getting some insane numbers for Gibbs tonight. Wow.
I know he's super cheap. Do you think Mahomes is going to be that chalky? I really don't.
I think he'll be anti-chalk.
Okay, well then he'd be a good GPP play then.
Yeah, because I look at my value rankings here. Let me see. I have him as quarterback. He's tied for 5th with
right where they have his price too.
With Jalen Hurts, tied for 5th in value. I'm just looking at value.
Yeah.
Always look at value, and then I look at variance, and I look at upside, and he's tied for 5th. But he's going to be looking at 2 touchdowns from Mahomes today.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jared Goff going to get 2 touchdowns?
See, I don't know, because I could see a scenario where Gibbs and Montgomery get 2 touchdowns each, or Gibbs gets 3 and Montgomery gets 1, or
Right.
That. I just don't like it as much I don't like Goff as much today with Montgomery back. I just think that they're going to rely on Gibbs and Montgomery in the goal line.
Could be, and the chalk I think today is going to be Daniels.
I think so.
I think he'll be 40% owned. So any quarterback besides Daniels is anti-chalk. So you can pick anybody else but him, and you're anti-chalk.
I'm gonna trust my gut here. I'm gonna go with Mahomes. I'm gonna take rushing yards. He's healthy. I saw them talking about him in the press conference or whatever about how healthy he is and he's running good and everything. So I like him to get some major fantasy points today.
I think he is gonna run a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think you're gonna see his fantasy value.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna overemphasize Mahomes. Because you're doing Mahomes, you gotta do Kelsey.
Yeah, I agree. So we got Mahomes and Kelsey.
Yeah, that's a chalk with him, but that's a good play.
Yeah, and also be chalk with Montgomery, but this just too cheap, like 4,000. I mean, what are they doing?
Helping us out.
He needs like 6 carries and maybe a couple receptions or 1 touchdown. Really, all he needs for value.
You could get 30 yards. You might get.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But I don't know how healthy he is.
Yeah, I don't either. But he's going to be healthy enough to play. They're not going to, I mean, he's going to get that number. If he was, 5,500 even, I probably wouldn't play him. But 4,000, that's a cheap tight end, So.
Right. So we got Mahomes, Montgomery, Kelsey, and then I'll throw Barkley in. We're both in agreement there.
Yeah, definitely.
Barkley. And so now we're going to receiver.
Okay. I'm taking. I took JMO.
And JMO. I am gonna take Brad Weller's Khalil Shakir.
Okay.
And I got one more receiver, Josh. I don't like too many receivers.
I'm gonna take X.
Yeah, that's fine. At least us a few times to work with.
Yeah, with either Kansas City or Philly defense, really.
I just think Josh, I clicked on uploading and uploaded a lineup on accident. How do you think Hollywood Brown's gonna do? Just out of curiosity.
I don't really like him. I think he's going to see Lassiter.
Oh, that's not fun.
Yeah. I think Stingley will be on Worthy.
Yeah,
But
my math.
I think he'll
Yeah.
get the rushing yards. Worthy will. So I'm not as concerned.
So I threw KC in a defense. At least it's 8,900.
What is that? Derrick Henry pricing around there? No, 9,600. So we got Gibbs. Gibbs and Montgomery. I don't know about that. What do you think about St. Brown? And moving Secure to flex, or
Yeah.
we can do Puka if you. I just don't know how. I don't know, man. Philly's defense just scares me.
Yeah, it does. We have 0 commanders right now on our roster, correct?
Okay, I can go with Terry.
We put Terry in at receiver.
Yep.
Take out here. To me, Worthy's a wild card, dude. I don't like that. It's okay.
Well, okay. So what if we put Shakir there, and then in the flex we can put either Cook or Laporta.
I don't like Cook. I don't like Cook at all. Or Laporte.
You don't want Cook? Okay.
No, I said I don't mind him.
Oh, you don't mind him? Okay.
Not at all. I got Cook as my
number one run defense, and we're playing. That's a GPP play right there.
Well, yeah, because I think Josh Allen can do most of the running, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it because it's going to be an interesting game. I'll leave it at that. There'll be a lot more points scored. Laporte has a little. It's pretty bad value at this point.
It's a little pricey for a tight end, I think. I mean, he's the same Horn almost. So
yeah, and I would go of Devontae Smith. It was better weather. Bateman's get number one coverage. So right now we're looking at James Cook. It's definitely our best value.
Okay, I'm good with that. Yeah. So we got Mahomes, Montgomery, Barkley, Jameson, McLaurin, Shakir, Kelsey, Cook, and the Chiefs defense. I like it.
Let's do it. And we'll put that in for.
Let's check the chat real quick before we get out of here. And any last thoughts before we get out of here, Doug?
Here's my thought. I am gonna just rest, enjoy the football games. Do big time rebound on basketball flop last night. Oh,
yeah.
Anyways,
I had to run. Like, I wasn't even able to keep up with all the news because my wife and I went to see a movie. But there's just so much news last night; it was ridiculous. You had the Shea news, you had the Jokic news, you had the Anthony Davis news. Like, I missed most of that because I had to go out early. So
yeah, and I missed it because I had company over as well, and I couldn't get to my computer to do any of this.
Yeah,
and I had feelings about this all happening. I had it set up, and then I had unexpected company out of town show up.
Right,
and that happens.
Yeah, it does.
It's life.
Just on a Friday night, it's like the worst night possible because everybody's doing stuff, and you got to change your lineup 3 times, and and it wasn't just like the value guys, it's the expensive guys, which changes your whole lineup. So
it does. It
sucks.
And I still made money on DraftKings and Yahoo somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, if you are not currently in our Discord, or if this is your first time checking us out, hit us up on X at DFS Coach Talk. We will get you in our Discord for a week and for free. And hope everybody has an awesome Saturday. Enjoy the divisional round. We got 4 great games. I think this will probably be one of the best weekends of the NFL for sure this year. So if everybody enjoys it,
I agree.
We'll be back again next week for the AFC and NFC championship games as we look to crush it in NFL, DFS, and Prizepicks. Have a great one. Thank you.
Hey, you.